if your company doesn't want to show on their YouTube or their social the sort of content that you're able to create, find the way to share it internally.
Well, welcome back to the Build Different podcast. Brian, great to see you. Jarvis, looking good as always. Fellas, how we doing?
We're doing great. I'm very happy to be back. Get
Yeah,
some more episodes going. We've been seeing some small little virality on the likes from the couple of the last guests, but it's gonna be. I think we got a good lineup going forward too.
we've been setting the bar pretty high. Jarvis, I think a couple of your guests have gone on the virality train. Appreciate Joe, and I did some in-person recordings as well. But yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's hard to go back from the Eagles nest to this, guys. I'm not sure I'm digging the virtual podcasting.
We'll get there. We just need our own like full recording studio to make it happen. But yeah, I know I agree. The in-person ones are nice. They're get a little break, but we live in a virtual world, and we get to bring on some pretty sweet guests kind of along the way. So yeah, appreciate y'all joining back in with us. We're virtual again, and we'll have some more in-person ones kind of throughout the year too. But it's good to see you guys again. Let's dive into it here as we're talking about our featured guest and kind of who we're going to bring on here, and Mr. Caldwell. This is going to be really fun. Adam's great. Just, I would say, partner of us. He's doing some great stuff on the Maple team. And really, I've just been encouraged. Anyone who is really not just active on socials, but like in a really healthy way to help just bring awareness and education to the work that their internal team is doing, I think is awesome. So this is going to be a really great opportunity. He also is a teacher, professor. So he's going to give us kind of a rundown on some stuff that he's learned in just helping educate folks of more tools and kind of workflows that they're doing. So I feel like these player cards have kind of become a thing. Hopefully we'll keep them to stay. But yeah, Adam's background, he's up north in the Canada world. So excited to have them be our 51st state if any of you guys are tracking politics these days. But we'll see if Adam wants to do that. Yeah, fun story. Tariffs. We could really riff on a lot of things here, fellas. But yeah, Brian, you haven't met Adam, so I'm excited for you to get to hang out with him here.
I've seen. I feel like when you see enough people's content, you kind of feel like you know them a little bit. So it's like in a weird way. Like I think I know a lot more about you, but excited to finally meet him in person. Or
Yeah,
virtually. Yeah.
And Jarvis, you've been working with Adam for a while now.
Yeah, Adam's one of my customers, and it's always fun to have that call with him and just say like, "What are you guys up to?" Like I feel kind of like I'm the one being led. He kind of creates a bunch of great content, and I just look forward to reading it and seeing it and watching it. And yeah, he's a good customer to have.
Well, let's get this guy in here. Adam, great to see you, friend. You are replacing our other Adam, who it's been a while now. You've been in enough meetings where we had like 5 different Adams on here, but you are the infamous Adam. So it's great to see you, friend.
Thanks for having me, guys. Glad to be here. Brian, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a great time. Adam, yeah, just really quick, I guess would love to kind of give the folks a little bit of your background of why, how you got into what you're doing, just a little bit of kind of like a roadmap of where we're going to go here with some of these topics. And I know you've been really passionate about getting more of your team engaged on the workflow that you're doing. We kind of shared a little bit of your bio and background and all the things that you're doing. And I really kind of want to get into this educational piece. I know you're a professor of really just a lot of different things that I think can help folks glean from that listening to us too. But yeah, let's just start off with a little bit of your background and tell us how you got into your role and are you from kind of the area they're in? But yeah, let's dive into it here.
Yeah, so the history is less so construction and more a videography background. So way back in the day, I was a videographer for a hunting show up in Canada here, and that kind of springboarded me into the video world. It was a passion leading up to that. Out of that, the camera experience got me into infrared camera experience. So going around doing commercial building analysis, envelope, as well as rooftop moisture analysis. So one camera to a different camera, and during this time, drones were around, but they weren't a tool to be used yet. So early on, I got a Mavic Pro, and it was the greatest thing ever, and started using that in my daily job, right? Daily work, take aerial photos, video, and it it sort of snowballs into this um, um, sort of ability to not only do analysis but to tell the story about how it's happening, get everybody involved, and sort of up to speed of what they're looking at.
Can we talk about how you go from hunting show to construction? Haven't seen that on my bingo card of late, but yeah, like what?
Yeah. So that line is, the camera work ended, and I was in between doing some utility locating, and that's where I drove by one day, and they had an infrared camera out the window, and I said, "What the heck are you doing with that?" And chatted with them a bit. An opening came up down the road. You got to reach out, you got to follow up on what the conversations you have. And luckily, a small company, I was able to travel across Canada doing, this specialized building analysis. Back then, it was by hand. So, one of the most dangerous jobs, I would say, you're going to remote locations. It's at night. You're alone with a ladder, getting up on buildings. So many times during that job, it would be so easy to have a drone with a thermal sensor, get up to where I need to see, and get this done a lot quicker, a lot safer, with sort of the same results. So that's the line from camera to camera to camera, different cameras along the way, but sort of, you know, using the experience at each level to kind of move forward with.
Were you using like thermal stuff on the hunting side of it? I've heard probably half the people that were excited about drones are like, can I take this to my ranch and can I use this for hunting? Like, yeah, what like
Yeah.
was it just like another kind of interest of yours that moved over into that?
So at filming for that show, again, there was those times where you're like, we're out in the middle of northern Canada, this beautiful scene, and it would have been nice at that time to have a Mavic in your pocket, right? To have the Mini that you have nowadays. Um, but the vision of it was there, right? Seeing those shots and wanting to produce those shots. Um, it just wasn't available at the time. We're packing light. You're not bringing out a Phantom 2 or your Phantom 3 just to have it get lost up in the middle of nowhere. So, yeah, it's, the the visual side of things, the technology's come so far that, if it had existed back in the day there, it would have been it would have been amazing to have in the back pocket.
So
Adam,
when
quick question. What's your toolkit that you're running now? Like what's your go-to? Like what do you keep in your bag?
So for our standard site updates, the M3E, we have Mini 4 Pros for interior. I just picked up the Matrice 4, as well as an Avata 2 for we're testing out some confined space inspections, interior, hard to reach spots, all this, the technology is sort of meeting a need that you sort of hear while you're out, you know, hey, can you go look in that obscure corner with a light and show me what we're looking at? Or, are you able to cover this entire area and get us a accurate map tomorrow, And um, the responding to the needs from the field, from the office, and having that technology there to provide it is the big thing. As well, the 360 cam. We run the 1-inch 360 cams as well.
definitely want to unpack your videographer bag as well. I know that's probably another extensive bit, but yeah, Jarvis, like what you've gotten to know Adam's background a little bit more too, of just getting to work with him. Like what's kind of stood out of that you've kind of got to see in the time that you got to work with him.
Yeah, it's interesting just to see the blend of like, technology in general enthusiasts and how you've been able to kind of leverage that into, the construction field and, in my opinion, excite a lot of construction technology workers or just general construction folks. And so that's I'm super pumped to say, hey Adam, how is it that you're tapping into that love and that enthusiasm to push your message, get your message engaged at large in your company and in the industry. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to this whole combo.
Adam, when did you get into like the teaching side of it? So I'm gonna probably butcher the name. Fanshawe, is that? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Fanshawe College.
Fantastic College, yeah.
Yeah. So what
So
what do
that
you
was
teach? What's kind of the background there?
so got into teaching back in 2019, and it is a commercial drone program, 1 year certificate. So you sort of come to it with some experience. You already have a degree or a certificate from something, and what it enables you to do is an intensive year of getting up to speed on the drone industry. What I specifically taught was flight operations. So that's everything you need to do before you get on site, right? Your site surveys, uh, regulations, um, everything from DGI fly safe, right? And the big thing I always like to bring up is the experience that I was having at work and tying it into lessons for them. So always check your fly safe. I know you guys don't have fly safe in the States anymore, but you know, examples of showing up on site where you think it's, um, you know, everything's fine and, your drone's locked from DJI. So, um, the operational side and infusing it with actual examples of that from my experience, basically starting each class showing up, the latest drone deploy update or the latest project that we're working on, tying it into whatever it is, setting up in a good position on site to see the drone the entire time, right? So, you know, the I think I was lucky to get that role back in 2019, and the person I was back then, experience wise, is very different than now, just with how technology has gone, right, and the industry. And it's been nice to see, 2019, there really wasn't opportunities specifically in the industry for those students. But now, seeing many of my students in the field working in the industry is great. For example, the leap that we've been able to make in the video quality and the production side is because of a talented hire of a former student. So, seeing that opportunity where he didn't have the construction background, but through the course, he's got all the essentials to understand mapping and model creation, but also could bring that level of expertise on production and editing and photos and the video side, right? So, um, and as well, our drone supplier up here is full of former students of mine. It's it's nice to see, and that's been a change over the years where the there is more demand in the industry, um, from companies, from various stakeholders, and seeing them get into uh, the roles that they're in now is a little bit of a proud moment,
Yeah, it's awesome.
proud proud teacher moment.
I feel like teachers that have some of the most like what's the best way to say it? Like I don't know, the proud teacher moment is almost like it should be like a hashtag, right? Of like you see your students and you flourish and like they're out there doing some great stuff. And I don't know, I have a lot of family members that are teachers, and it's just cool to see the history and the kind of family line of folks that you get to impact. But yeah, it's awesome. I want to get into this kind of internal engagement topic or section that we're going to dive into. It's really just around this idea of like you've been pretty passionate about this idea of like how do you help bring internal engagement into your guys' team. So let's kind of transition over your time to Maple Reinders of like what your role is, why you've kind of chose to, like you mentioned, bringing on someone just to like really help with this production stuff, which is pretty atypical. Like that's not very common to have that mindset of like, hey, like we need to really think about how we're educating more folks of the work that you're doing, both internally and externally. But yeah, let's kind of dive into this because I want to hear a little bit more for folks to kind of glean from how you guys have approached this topic. And internal engagement is just hard. It's never easy. It's always kind of met with not only just challenges but resources and kind of how you approach it. So yeah, I'm very interested to hear like, have you always kind of had this mindset of like thinking of creative ways to bring people in? And I'm going to pull up my screen to kind of show some of these videos and stuff that you guys have been working on.
I always say like I view the world as sort of like a movie trailer or like opportunities for a great video segment wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, work or sort of pleasure. So yeah, the natural it came as sort of a natural progression. So I was hired on as a drone pilot in the VDC team. So we work with where our team has modelers, layout, laser scanning, and the drones, right? All in one side. But as it's almost sort of natural extension of our time on site, the technology is so good, we drive, 2 hours to a project and, in under an hour, you've got it completely mapped, internally scanned. And, the prospect is either 2 hours home or just spend a little more time on site, capture some video of the progress, capture, key moments and sort of demonstrate what you're doing with the product. So the early videos would be sort of me showing, let's call it level 1 stuff. So overlays, putting overlays over new greenfield projects and tying it into like, it's an update video, but this is sort of what we're doing, in the field. So sharing those, we got them up on the company YouTube, and we're able to sort of share them around, and it's kind of like a contagion where somebody sees that video and they show it to someone else and then they want one, right? Or they request these sort of update videos. So that's where it started small, just your quick site progress update, sprinkle on a little bit of the drone deploy, the VDC side of things for that awareness. It progressed quickly, especially bringing on someone into your closeout photos. So when a project wraps up, our team can come through the glossy lean photos, that glossy video, and make that sort of product for the team. Then, as well, we're looking at the thermal roof analysis. Wasn't something that the company was doing before I arrived. I brought that experience with me, but again, just a natural extension of building buildings, is things can go wrong and can be detected. So, the videos were very helpful with, instead of just showing a single thermal image or the reports I make, you can see the process, they can see what goes into it and understand, what we're looking for and the limitations, I guess, as well.
Yeah, I know, Brian, go for it here. I know you got some stuff you want to ask on this side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one big thing here is okay, great. Like you're able to use. I mean, first of all, just like applauding you on being just a natural teacher and wanted to share. I think it's the more people that can do things like that, the more you can inspire people to enter this career. I think there's too many people that just sit on the sidelines and say the labor shortage, but that could be a variety of people entering the industry, and that could be in the sense of a drone pilot. Maybe if you don't have a project manager that is looking to fill that role. Maybe it's a couple of different pilots that are able to supplement other people. But getting back to the thermal inspection specifically, so you get people, you start educating them now, and I'm starting to see like you're kind of building upon the level of education now. Like you're getting deeper and deeper into certain topics. Like where do you kind of envisioning these going? I know you have a lot of top of the line, but do you also create like any private collateral that gets showed with a lot of the clients, or that helps them kind of get up to speed on how what this entire process looks like?
Yeah. Um, I'll circle back to the thermal stuff there, Brian. Uh, just this video in particular, this was sort of our first attempt at a longer length feature sort of episode, and up till now, sort of it was me saying what I was doing, what we were doing, but we were able to get this experienced project manager who is hungry for the drone deploy data and uses it. It's open at every meetings. He's analyzing, he's tracking. The client sees it. So featuring him allowed us to step back and let that PM level of um, PM level of a worker sort of tell the story himself. And again, to the contagion level, after this was sort of distributed, other PMs started reaching out. I want to be where he's where he is. I want to use it like he says he's using it. He says it's a dream. You know, so it you if you build it, they will come, right? You make the video with the intention that it's educational, it's honest, and in a project manager's own words, you don't have to be the one sort of tooting your own horn. Um, and it was amazing to see the after effect on other PMs from just sharing this video internally.
I think what's cool is like really more so than the art of education. This is just like the art of storytelling. I mean, again, if you don't watch these episodes and you're most are listening and but very much encourage you to head over to our YouTube channel and like watch what's going on behind us as we're talking through this. But yeah, I mean, it's really, I mean, you took a risk, right? So tell us about this gentleman here who's the PM that's kind of on the screen. Like, did you get the idea to kind of tell his story? Did he kind of bring up like, hey, like like how do you get to what we're looking at now? Because obviously there's multiple shots of him on site, him in this trailer, what we're seeing now, him like using the product. Like, how do you develop these stories? Like, do they come by you just visiting jobs and like hearing them? Like, yeah, like walk us through how we got to like this as a deliverable.
Yeah. So when I first came to the company, we had 20 active drone deploy projects, one pilot. So lots of driving, lots of, managing weather. And, I would show up and just get the bare minimum sort of completed, right? Get the mapping, all the updates that they need. And a fortunate part of my position is how far I get within the company. So I get, sites, projects can feel like their own universes sometime. And, you come in as an outsider with this new technology, and there's varying levels of engagement, just in the trailer, right? So it starts with, Eamon, the example there, he was a voracious drone deploy user. He wanted us there weekly at a set time, so that the next morning he had that update for the client meeting. So I knew right off the bat that he was interested in the product that we were working on. The next part, as well as we're finding out now, is the ability for someone to tell their story on camera in a compelling way, right? So he was, I'm thankful he was the first willing participant, let's say the guinea pig, of this new video series, where he knocked it out of the park, right? He told the story, told our story, and affected other PMs around him.
Do you anticipate that happening?
I-
Did you go into it with the goal of hey, I hope more folks reach out to this? Was it more of just oh, we just kind of want to put this out there for more people? Did you kind of anticipate the success that it was going to bring? Because I think anytime you tell a story, you're going to get different outcomes that you may or may not expect. But yeah, was that your end goal? Was to get other people like him kind of interested and engaged on what it is that he was getting value out of?
The base goal was sort of still the awareness of what our team was doing. That was like the, if we came out and someone explains how they use drone deploy, how it's valuable to them, and how they work with it, that was sort of the goal. The contagion effect, the sharing of this, our marketing team grabbing this and dicing it up into clips that are on the main feed as well, it's all sort of like the cherry on top, right? So, you mentioned, Grant, like how this is sort of not usual for a construction company to focus on this, and I sort of credit my manager for seeing that this was that natural extension of we're already on site, we're already there for a set amount of time. The time involved for this extra stuff was not very much. And as everybody knows here, through the winter, rainy, windy days, you do need a task to do in those sort of down times, right? So, you're looking through the analytics of drone deploy usage, or you could be editing that update video from yesterday, right? And maximizing that inherent downtime with the role we're in, to make something creative and compelling was sort of the impetus to get where we are.
Jarvis, I know
Grant,
you've
you
been.
mind
So
if I jump?
I'm good.
Go for it,
Go
bro.
ahead. Sorry. I was going to actually
No,
ask Jarvis and Adam a question. So I wanted to hear both of your perspective of working together. So Grant and I always go on these rants of like sometimes you'll see people they'll go speak at all these events and they'll do all these promotions, but then you actually ask people, you get behind it, how much capture are you actually doing? It's yeah, we're doing it on a couple projects, but we're presenting on it, right? And that to me is I always appreciate when someone has the numbers to kind of back up what they're doing. And I'm looking through your data right now, and I'm seeing some of these projects with 300 flights, 500 flights, 400 flights. And then on the interior, we have 190,000 360 photos for your most captured, 33,000, 59,000. Have you seen the usage of the product kind of go up over time? And I'd like to hear both of your perspectives of working together from the time you've just started working together through kind of now. Of how have you seen the usage kind of grow as you started doing a lot of these internal marketing initiatives?
Jarvis, I'll start with you while we bring Adam back. But what's
Wait,
kind of
do
stood
we
out?
want to pause till you get?
Yeah,
Do
that's
you
fine.
want to pause till you get back?
Connor snipped that out.
Connor, cut.
Counter cut.
Corner
that-
cut.
Counter cut.
Corner cut.
It is funny just to like see these videos. I'm curious to ask him, like, you've got folks that like are evangelists from the get. Like, has this been able to convert folks that were either anti or on the fence or anything? But
I don't know. It makes me almost want to go over to Riverside because I feel like we're trying to overly graphic these things when
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see if he hops back in here. But for some reason, it's only the guest. Like I haven't had the issues with like you guys as much.
No, Adam Della Monica used to
yeah,
always come up.
it popped me out a while ago. It even popped you out, Brian, but it was on a
Yeah.
yeah. He's back.
All good, Adam.
Not sure what happened there.
No, it's more on our end than it is, I think, on yours. But yeah, we were just talking about like Brian was listing off some statistics of just like how much your guys' growth has come as a result of, I'm sure, a lot of these videos. But we're gonna, Jarvis, if you want to kind of chime in of just like sharing your kind of relationship with Adam and what that's kind of looked like as you've seen some of these videos continue to
We
grow.
give Connor a clean cut.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, action.
All right, so go for it, Jarvis.
Yeah, Adam, I in my short time working with you while I've been your CSM at Drone Deploy, like it's been interesting for me just to see, the production level and the quantity and the quality of this stuff just increase. And like Brian was listing off, just the count of flights that you guys have, the count of panoramas, like has that been something that is directly involved in kind of this production and marketing effort with you guys? Have you seen customers that are a little bit on the fence with it? Because from my experience with you and your team and the peripherals that I have, you guys are some of the sharpest out there of, hey, we'd like to get end data deliverables to be like this, would like Drone Deploy to function like this, would like it to see a new tool set or a new report layout. And so it feels like you guys are getting not just surface level, we're collecting a lot, but it's being used very deeply across the org. So that's super exciting for me to be, a part of at a distance, being able to be your CSM.
Yeah, and I remember when you first came on, I asked, is there something we should be doing that others are doing? You want to sort of keep up with the industry standard, but also be, as soon as there's a new feature and I see that it's not grayed out, I'm going to be poking around at it, seeing if I can use it. And Brian, just back to the tracking the usage, the internal usage, it was and still is the battle that we face. Early on, when it was just me, the focus was just purely the updates. I'd go to site, I'd get the data, come home, upload it, off to the next one. There was no time to really engage and sort of see how the projects were using it, and how they could be using it better. So we, I that shortcoming where there was no time for that growth, that we brought on another pilot and sort of split the project time, but that allowed me to dive into the usage, the analytics dashboard, see what projects are, they're doing fine. They're looking at it, they're sharing it, they're adding clients and contractors to it. It's a healthy project. That's where you can see the other ones that aren't really using it to its full potential. And that time allowed me to, do some self-analysis of the project, whether it was useful to them or not at the time. I would create a photo report and do a volume analysis on some stockpile. And I would say, hey, I was there yesterday. Here's the photo report. You easy to create with Maple's logo on it. The volume analysis stuff, quick and easy, but it was showing what can be done, right? To project teams that may have not been fully using it. And another thing I've noticed is, back to Eamon as an example, is as projects start and end in this cycle, that PM starts on another job with a new set of project team underneath him. He is now showing them how to fully use it, right? And I can see that where, his former site super on that project that you saw there, is now at a new project, and he is now just as hungry for that, where it was brand new to him under Eamon before. So it's, just doing some work, like the reports, some analysis, showing the features that are there. Hey, did you see the BIM compare? We got the model in there. You can see around. You saw that? This is great. This is great for, contractor coordination to show the client, and that's how we're able to sort of move from the level one. It started with, hey, this is an overlay, a PDF overlay, pretty snazzy, to, this is a 3D visualization with an IFC model of the, entire project. So it's step by step. We needed to make some time to do that phase, the educational phase, the awareness phase. And part of that time was creating these sort of internal, I say internal, the audience in my mind is internally, but they are to also show what Maple is up to as well.
Do you notice that, we talk about this a lot, that each project is really a story in itself, whether you want to tell it or not, project team, the actual building, or what it is that's going to be left behind. Like, do you find that the project teams want to tell that story, or are maybe hesitant to? I've seen it both ways, where you get to a job and like, it doesn't really feel like a story to us. We're just out here kind of cranking through and building stuff and, want to get done. Versus some that are just like, heck yeah, like there's so much stories out here to be told, and they almost get excited. Like, have you found a shift or a majority of one or the other? Obviously the videos that you guys have, like the people that you bring on are pretty engaged, and I would say good storytellers, whether you prep them or they're just natural at that. But yeah, like, is there a hesitancy, or is there an excitement around like what you guys are trying to do in the medium of storytelling?
It's growing for sure. And them being able to see that first example and sort of they understand what we're trying to do. We're telling the story of the project in their words, what technology they're using, not just the drone technology, but, there's new civil technology that is being used in wastewater treatment plants, right? And Maple's one of the first ones to do that as well. So there's a growing willingness in the company to participate in these, and we've got a video in the can, editing up right now, and we've got one lined up in the coming months to do another segment. And I didn't think that it would be I thought it'd be a little more work to sort of get that involvement from these different project teams. But to your point, Grant, I think there's a little bit of pride in their work as well, where, this is our job in life. This is our lot in life. And, we're here doing it well. And, there wasn't a third party company coming through. Hey, we'll tell your story, right? We're kind of embedded inside, just from the work that we do, right? We're walking through the site, we're talking to them, albeit briefly, but yeah, it's a combination of seeing what we're up to, and that wanting to tell the story of their unique project. Personality is a big thing too. So, um, yeah, that's how I've seen it sort of ballooning, um, in the sort of acceptance of it.
Yeah. I want to transition us to this last kind of idea and topic here of like, it's so funny. I feel like we've joked about this too, Brian, maybe from many seasons past of like the engagement from a marketing team and VDC team is pretty typical of like, hey, can you just toss over one of the aerial photos so we can post on social? And hey, like, can you get us like some cool like social clip or something we can use for a proposal? Like, I would say that's becoming kind of like the baseline standard for VDC and marketing teams, which is kind of a bummer, because I think you guys are on the complete opposite end of like what it could really look like from a storytelling standpoint, an engagement standpoint, a quality perspective of like what would happen if we put, some effort and kind of thought into how are we educating these folks. So like this art of education idea, like it really is interesting to see your guys' kind of blend of your marketing team and your guys' team kind of coming together. Was that something that came natural for your guys' team where it's like you kind of each saw your mutual benefit to each other? I'm sure it developed over time when you kind of just start to see the flywheel take effect of like, hey, this is, becoming both beneficial for us on the marketing side of it and what they're wanting to obviously promote you guys as the team. And then your team benefiting from it of like, hey, more people are knocking on our door and asking for it. But like, would you say that is like almost one of the big keys of the art that you guys have almost, continue to experience of, all right, hey, if we're really working well together, that's where we're going to find a lot of value for each other.
For sure. For sure. And you're right. It did take some time because speaking with our collaboration with the marketing team, it did take some time. And that was because it was brand new. It was brand new for our team. And we were sort of developing as we went as well, right? Without a clear sort of vision of how it would end, right? Um, at no point did my manager say, no, don't don't do that story, and actually invested in it, right? Some production equipment to do this. The 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 relationship with marketing is great because we're, again, through our natural process, we're down in the basements of these projects, right? We get right into the back corners. We're meeting with the site teams. So we've got that field and office sort of hybrid knowledge about the company on such a grander scale, it feels, that we're able to find those stories, find those people willing to tell a story, be photographed, have their image shared on social media, where that has sort of improved the look and the feel of what the marketing team can put out, where it's more internal, right? It's more internal focused and just more authentic, let's say.
Yeah. What would you say to folks that are trying to do that? I mean, Brian, I know you were, trying to do that back in the day of just trying to put out more content, help, folks like it's a struggle, right? I mean, it can feel like you're kind of tackling on your own. Like Jarvis, I know you've experienced that too, but like, what would you say to folks that are like hearing you and being like, wow, this actually is very encouraging to see done really well, but maybe like struggling with that? Is there anything that you have kind of like experienced, or if you go back in time and would do it different, is there anything that like stands out?
Uh, just from my experience, every company is different. I worked for companies before that told me to stop flying the drone, stop making content. That wasn't the case here, right? So, um, what I experience wise, if your company doesn't want to show on their YouTube or their social the sort of content that you're able to create, find the way to share it internally. So whether that's, just email updates to project teams or divisions. One thing that we sort of identified as a way to get our stuff seen is we have a company portal, right? That's where you go to look up project information. That's where you go for your benefits, your time sheets. Everybody in the company funnels into this portal. And there was a banner, Viva Engage banner. I think it's a Microsoft product, but it's basically its own internal social media um, system. So we were able to get our content on there, see that people are seeing it when they're doing their timesheets or checking on their reports. And that was a sort of way, if your company is not interested in sort of showing on the grander scale the content, you can focus it internally and share it with the people who are interested in seeing it. And it's basically a 500 person sort of standalone social media network that are the people that we work with and will want what we're working with. So, there's ways to get it to get it in front of the people who will sort of enjoy it, learn from it, and sort of want it on their projects.
Yeah. Brian, Jarvis, any thoughts before we kind of land the plane here and let Adam get back to the producer bunker of the projects he's got going?
I just want to say I completely agree. Like, there's always a will. I mean, there's always a way if you have the will, but also sometimes too, like, have a good, have a good idea of what your values are and what you kind of want to do with your personal career, and then go find a better company that aligns with that. I think very often when you come out of school and you start interviewing, the only question that really matters is what is the salary, where's my job going to be, and then you start realizing as you get older, it's like, okay, well, what's your perspective on this, or what are your thoughts on growing the program? Where do you want the program to be in 3 to 5 years? So yeah, completely respect that.
Yeah, it's interesting too. We talk often that we don't have like innovation, change management degrees if we come out of like a construction program or, and we certainly don't have marketing degrees, which Brian and I can attest to that of like, oh, we're both sit on the marketing team, but don't have a formal background in it. Yeah. I think the more lessons you learn just by doing and experimenting and trying, and also building your network of people around you. Like that's a huge part. Jarvis, any kind of closing thoughts?
Yeah, for me, Adam, it's just impressive to see, what you've been able to build within the company and outside in your contact network. I've always been super impressed with the content you guys have been putting out. It's exciting to see project engagement. It'd be interesting as we, continue this relationship just to see folks that maybe were against the technology or against being on camera and, they kind of warm up to the idea and share their stories and just kind of follow up and see which avenues, which levers are the best for you to kind of pull of is a video marketing campaign something that's getting those folks engaged, or is kind of that sneak attack of, hey, check out what you can do in drone deploy or in with technology in general is kind of the way to those people's hearts. So yeah, it's awesome to see what you guys are doing. Love the project engagement you guys have, like some of the most data capture that I've seen, and not just data capture for data capture's sake, but it's being used and leveraged by project teams, which is making their lives better. So awesome to be working with you. I love it.
Thanks, Jarvis.
Yeah, it's awesome. Truly, your guys' team is approaching, I would say, engagement and awareness and education differently. So it felt fitting to, want to spotlight you guys of just saying, hey, keep going. The work is awesome. We obviously get to be consumers of the videos and the stories and the workflow, and more importantly, the people, right? Like I think you said it really well. It's these are the folks that are putting in the hours and are incredibly proud of the work that they're doing, and it's just a privilege and an opportunity to show that in a meaningful way that who knows, they go show it to, their family or other folks like, hey, look at this cool job I'm doing. You may never get to go visit, a side of something your family might be working on or, a colleague. But yeah, that I think is just really neat to see. And yeah, you guys truly are approaching, I think, just this idea really differently. So it's cool to see. We'll post links to not only your LinkedIn profile, Adam, who I know you have a lot of great posts out there too, but even just the YouTube channel that you're referencing. Again, if you don't watch us and are just listening in, would encourage you to go check out these videos because they're, I think, just a really neat way to hopefully inspire you to want to, follow suit in that. So, Adam, really appreciate you having us on or having on with us here, and just appreciate the knowledge and kind of encouraging folks to dive into doing those same things. So,
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
love it. Well, we will see you on the next one. Take care, team, and we'll talk soon. See ya.